What's good, YouTube? This your boy, Mr. YG82, coming at y'all with a deck profile update post Blazing Vortex. So today I'm gonna be showcasing my Gravekeeper deck profile and show you guys why Blazing Vortex just launched Gravekeepers back into the meta. So be on the lookout for Gravekeepers at your locals. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video after this one, which is going to be my Dino deck profile post Blazing Vortex. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right, so first up, I'm playing Gravekeeper's Commandant. He's like my Necro Valley Searcher, not once per turn. So if you open with Gravekeeper Steel or whatever the case may be, you can just easily get to multiple copies of this thing and just be able to get Necro Valley even after they ash. It's like, oh, cool, you ash. All right, let me search another one, discard it, get a Necro Valley. So this is Necro Valley number 1. All right, Gravekeeper's Recruiter is the second card I play. He searches any Gravekeeper monster, including himself, with the 15 defense or less. So, sorry, yeah, with the 15 defense or less. Yeah, I said it right. So he can actually search himself, or he can search Gravekeeper's Commandant. So being able to link him off into Armades, you can now be able to turn your Gravekeeper's Recruiter into another Commandant. So now this is Necro Valley number 2. So I'm already up to 6 Necro Valleys, and I'm only 6 cards into the deck. All right, so next up we have your actual Necro Valley. So now we have 9 Necro Valleys, and Necro Valley is probably the best floodgate right now, because if you think about it, any format that Ghost Bell and Skullmeister and stuff like that is in the format, best believe Necro Valley is peeking his head into some people's side decks, because it's just too good. If you don't need your graveyard, you side in Necro Valley, and it literally shuts down half the meta. It shuts down virtual worlds, no recursion. It shuts down the Drytrons, because now they can't play out the graveyard like they want to. And it also shuts down Eldritch, because they can't banish their traps and get that recursion as well. So that's 3 of the top decks in the format. It shuts them down. Also Dragon Link, because they can't do all their little reborn out of the grave and all that stuff like that too. So you got to think about it. It's really good, and it's really hard for people to play around. They have to get rid of it first. So if they try to answer with the Phoenix and you have impermanence or anything to stop that, it is over with. They're probably scooping on to the next game. All right. All right, so next up is going to be Necro Valley Throne. Again, another Necro Valley, because it searches your Gravekeeper monster, which is going to be your Recruiter or your Commandant. You can always summon your Recruiter, link it up, get the Commandant, and then pitch the Commandant. So it's just another Necro Valley for me. So now we're up to 12 Necro Valleys already. So you're going to get to Necro Valley in this deck really quick. All right, so now we have Royal Tribute, the win condition of the deck. If you open with Royal Tribute going first and your opponent has at least 2 or 3 monsters in hand, they're probably losing that game, flat out. And you're playing against Drytron, Virtual World, or any of those, they're definitely gonna have a whole bunch of monsters in hand, and they just flat out lose at that point. And there's like no real coming back after that. So Royal Tribute is the win con of the deck. And introducing Pot of Prosperity with our win con, you now increase your chances of getting to your win condition turn 1 exponentially. Like, I'm talking about anywhere upwards from 40 to I think 80 something percent, depending on how many times you search on that first turn. So let's say you play all your search cards first, and then you play this, and you got like what, 31 cards in deck left. You're literally like have like almost an 80% chance of getting to your Royal Tribute and just ending the game right there, because you already set up. If you play that many cards, you're probably already set up. You have everything else. You just don't have a Royal Tribute. So Pot of Prosperity just put this at eons ahead of where it was at, and it brings it back into the meta. So let's make Gravekeepers great again, shall we? All right, so for the alternate win condition of the deck, of course, the Dogmatica package. I play triple Nadir Servant, double Ecclesia, and 1 Fleer. So I also do play two punishments. Can't wait till those get upgraded. They actually push back the OTS, but I definitely can't wait to get some supers for those. So I play the Dogmatica package. I would definitely prefer not to draw any of my Dogmatica monsters, so I play a lower amount. But this is your alternate win con. You open the Dear Servant plus Necker Valley Royal Tribute. They're not coming back. Like, it's going to be really tough for them to come back after that. Or a lot of times you'll play Nadir, Fleur, Search the Punishment. You do all that stuff first and then play Potter's Prosperity. Now you can actually get to your Royal Tribute because you've already searched, so many cards out of the deck. Like, you summon the Recruiter, you linked it off, you got Commandant, discarded Commandant for Necker Valley. So now you already took Commandant, Necker Valley out of the deck. So that's 2 cards. Remember, you start with 5, and then you play Nadir Servant, you search another card, the Ecclesia can search Punishment. So now you've taken 4 cards out of your deck on top of your opening 5-card hand. So that's 9 cards out of the deck. You're at 31 cards right there. Then you play Pot of Prosperity. You're looking 6 more cards into the deck. 6 out of 31. The likelihood of you getting to 1 of 3 Royal Tributes is so high. I believe it's like 91%. I'll definitely have to check that math. But it's just ridiculous. And you get to it, you just flat out win. If you don't get to it, you already have the punishment and everything else. So you probably still winning that game because they can't get Necker Valley out the field. So just keep that in mind. The Dogmatica package with the Gravekeepers and Pot of Prosperity. Oh my. That is just game. So yeah, this deck is just lovely. I'm loving it. So now, of course, Gravekeepers can't really break decks. So So of course, Gravekeepers can't really break boards. So I play 3 Forbidden Droplets just to help out problematic boards, stuff like Dragoons and the Heralds and stuff like that. I can just literally droplets them and just run them over or dark hole them. Like Dragoons would be at 1500. I can run it over at Recruiter. So it is amazingly good. I love the card. So definitely must play in Gravekeepers because remember they can't break boards, unfortunately, because they're not a combo deck. So this helps you break those boards. In addition to Forbidden Droplets, I also play 3 Dark Holes to help break those boards as well. And on top of the 3 Dark Holes, I play 1 Regeki because just breaking boards, just like, oh, all right, cool. You set up they go first. It's like, all right, cool. You play Dark Hole, they try to negate, chain droplets, negate whatever monster they had on board, try to negate it. You clear their board, slap down Necker Valley. They're probably not coming back after that. So it's just that easy to clear the board. And with Potter's Prosperity, you can now get to these a lot quicker if you didn't already have them. So again, Pot just made this deck that much better going forward. All right, so continuing on the board breaking aspect, of course, you play the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster because just in case you do go second or turn 2, you're playing against Eldritch or something like that, and they just set a whole bunch of back row. You can just go Feather Duster, clean out the back row. Even if they chain all their stuff and pop the Necker Valley, cool. You play 12 of them, you probably have another one. You slap down another one, they can't banish those traps, and now they're just stuck. Hopefully you should be able to get rid of the Golden Lord with a Dark Hole or Regeki and just be able to just outgrind them at that point. If you can't get rid of the Golden Lord, we have something else for that. So the last spell of the deck, probably the most important, Gravekeeper Steel. It just literally allows you to get your recursion. It allows you to get back 2 Gravekeeper monsters, and now you can continue to push. So even turn 1, Gravekeeper Steel can be live because you'll link off Recruiter, get Commandant, pitch Commandant for Necker Valley. You already have 2 Gravekeepers in the grave. It'll be live turn 1, so it's never a dead draw. I really want to play 2, but I think 1 is actually good right now because the game shouldn't have to go that long that you need a second one. All right, so in this profile, I actually play 3 Infinite Impermanence for the sole reason because I want to play hand traps, but seeing as you're playing Royal Tribute, hand traps are not optimal because a lot of times you'll be discarding your own hand traps with Royal Tribute, so it's kind of counterproductive. I know Imperm is kind of bad this format, but the stuff that you want to Imperm, like the True King of Calamities and all that stuff like that, it doesn't really hurt your deck. You really don't care if they have it out because you're probably just going to Dark Hole it anyways. So Infinite Impermanence is mainly for like the Phoenix and the Cerberus. Phoenix and Unicorn. So that way you can stop them from getting rid of your Necker Valley. And you just leaving them stuck with a monster on board. And it's like, all right, so they can't get Necker Valley off the board. And they're stuck with their Unicorn or whatever, which you can easily take care of with Dark Hole or the Deer Servant and stuff like that. So Infinite Impermanence is extremely important. And it also keeps you from getting triple tactical talents on your opponent's turn and stuff like that, because you can still stop like Union Carry and Verte Anaconda and stuff like that. So it's actually still pretty good going second. going first, it's amazingly good because you just stopped that one play they had to get rid of Necro. And last but not least, Crackdown. So this will help you deal with any threats that you might have come across. You see them putting 2 monsters out. Like Drytron, they'll try to put 2 monsters out. If they have Nova or 2 Drytrons in hand, they'll try to put 2 out and then go Phoenix and pop Necro Valley and then keep going after that. But if you have the Crackdown, as soon as they put that second monster out there, you just go ahead and snatch that real quick if you don't have the impermanence. And then you just end their turn right there. I have came across situations where they'll have a way to get 3 monsters on board. So they'll go Phoenix and then they'll go Unicorn if I impermanence the Phoenix. So I've literally just impermanence the Phoenix and then they put another monster on board. I was like, oh, they're about to go Unicorn. And I just cracked down their Phoenix and now they're just stuck. And they just scooped, went to the next game. So Crackdown in tandem with some of these other cards are just amazing because you can take Golden Lord, you can take the zoo monsters and stuff like that, and it's ridiculously good. It's mainly good for going first, but going second, even against dinos, you can just snatch up Conductor or something like that during the battle phase. Oh, let me get that. And there's nothing they can do about it because they probably can't out their own Conductor in the battle phase. So, Crackdown the rounds off the main deck. Let's go ahead and get into that extra deck, shall we? All right, so for the extra deck, I play 2 Armades only because we're not playing Extrav anymore, so you don't have to play the 3rd one in fear of banishing all 3 copies. So you're probably going to resolve it once, but I still play 2 because it's really good and it starts your plays. It starts you getting there. You put the link monster on board, the extract monster, so you can do your dogmatica plays. So I definitely play 2 right now. I may cut it to 1. I don't know. We'll see as far as future testing. But right now it's at 2, and I think that's a good number for that. All right, so of course, play Nightmare Phoenix. It's just one of the best generic Link 2s. In tandem with that, we play Cerberus, which is also an amazing generic Link 2 because now you can actually crack down their monster and utilize it to get rid of their back row or a special summon monster or something. So it's really good. Can't play the Nightmare package without Unicorn. Unicorn is amazing, especially if you like take a Link 2 or something from them. Then now you can make your Unicorn spin back something and just really put your foot on their neck. All right, so I play 3 Elder Entity Entist. Sorry, I can't get that right. Like, I still play 3 because you still play the 3 Nadir Servants and 2 punishments. So I do definitely find myself using this for punishment. And then sometimes I want to use it for Nadir Servant as well. So just having 3 copies is just amazing. Sometimes you want to have more copies, but fortunately you can only play 3. So definitely a must 3 of in this deck. All right, so for this one, even though we're not playing Extrav, I still like 2 for this one for the simple fact of just in case they only put like 1 monster out, you can just pop it and send this, and then now you can start establishing your own place if you haven't got to the Dogmatica package. So I definitely like playing 2 of this because you can also use it with Dear Servant on turn 1 and be able to actually bad during the end phase after you've already royal tributed them. So now you're in just that much of a better position to just win the game. So I definitely like it at 2. And it does come up at 2 sometimes, even without extract. So definitely at 2 is the right number for this one. Can't play the dogmatic package without playing the Omega. Even though you can't use the effect because of Necro Valley, if you use it before you activate Necro Valley, like Nadir Servant, then play Necro Valley at the end before you pass turn, you can actually utilize the effect and put back one of your like recruiters or anything like that in the grave, and then play your Necro Valley. So it's really good, and it still gets used. So I definitely like it. Of course, you only play 1, and I'm not main decking the Gamma package anymore, but it's still a must play in any dogmatic variant. All right, so this kind of gives away my side deck, but I'm playing the super poly targets, and then of course I'm playing 5-head to take out any of the big threats like I don't know, UTC in the battle phase and stuff like that. So I just want to have something big enough to be able to take out any and everything, and that gives me that option. And of course, having the super poly, I mean, oh, you in double calamities, that's cool. Just gonna have super poly that away. So that's really amazing. Definitely loving that. And of course, Muddy Mud Dragon just kind of covers all the bases. And last but not least, you can't play Crackdown with Zoo as one of the top decks in the format, or at least a Zoo engine. Because you crack down the Zoo monster, now you can make your own Dryden and do stuff. So I feel that is amazingly good. I kind of want to play Zeus because of that, but I had to pump the brakes on that. I was just like, I need to make sure I fit as much utility in my extra deck as possible, and still be able to have stuff like Dryden and the Super Poly stuff, so I can have less cards in my side deck that are not benefiting my end game. So I really don't like the side extra deck monsters, so I really try to make room for the main extra deck, and this is an example of that. So definitely keep that in mind when you're deck building. Try not to side extra deck monsters, because like that just takes away from your overall effectiveness. So now for the side deck. Dino Wrestler Prankotops, I mean, you really don't have to say anything else about him. You know, if you're going second, you side him in. He's just good against like almost every matchup. Like, he's just universally good. Extra back row hate. So I do main deck the Feather Duster, so I'm siding decking 2 Cosmic Cyclones. So of course, looking at the extra deck, you already know I play these. You got to play the Super Poly. It's still good against certain matchups. I didn't really think Salad was a good deck in the format, but just being able to have Super Poly to out a lot of different decks and stuff like that is extremely good. So Super Poly in the side. So triple tactical talents. So a lot of times, if I know I'm going second, like they're gonna go first, I'm gonna side these in, take out the royal tributes, so that way when I'm actually, because they're not gonna have a lot of monsters in after they finish their turn, so I'm just going to make sure I get to something. So it does conflict with the pot, but if I draw one or the other, then I'm still good because I can utilize the draw to get to the cards I need. Or I can actually just snatch a monster or look at their hand and see if they have any like ashes or any hand traps like that. A lot of times I'll probably be snatching a monster like Dragoons or something and just killing them with their own Dragoons. So the last list, I actually main deck this card, but again, I don't really like hand traps with Royal Tribute because a lot of times you wind up discarding them and stuff, and drawing multiples is terrible. So I had to move it to the side deck, unfortunately, but just having access to this card, being able to Nibiru that board mid combo, especially with Virtual Worlds, they can't really recover. And then you can use Nadir Servant, Reget Key, even Darkhold to get rid of the Nadir, to get rid of the Nibiru token if the defense is over 3K. So it is just really good. And even though it's not seeing a lot of meta play, it's starting to slide back in. It's just like one of those in and out type things. And right now, it's definitely an in for my side deck. And last but not least, hopefully I'm signing this in game 3 because I won game 1. It's just nothing else to say about Solemn Judgment. Like, you going first, you set the Solemn and Necro Valley and like a Dogmatic or something, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Because just like Crackdown, Empire, and all the other stuff, you're just adding extra resources to be able to take out that one threat that they're gonna have against your Necro Valley, whether it be Lightning Storm, Phoenix, Unicorn, or any of those. You can stop it cold turkey. So that definitely concludes my deck profile. Like I said earlier, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think I should change or add. And this is YJ82 signing out.